Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. The hack and slash MMO Vindictus has been around for 12 years now and is still going. Vindictus has insanely good combat for its age, and that's not even clickbait. No worries though, I still have some clickbait waiting for you that will come later. So how is Vindictus doing, and what has changed since the last time we played all those years ago? Let's dive right in. I used to play Vindictus a lot and just got back into my old account. All my characters are still there, and of course, like every other returning player, the first thing that I'll do is reset my secondary password because I have no clue what I used last time I logged in. Thankfully, I still have access to my email. We're in, and the first thing that we're greeted with is a ton of UI windows. I got a gift for coming back. There are daily, weekly missions that we can now do as well. That is pretty cool. I have no idea if those were already there or not, at least not with this UI form. And there's a play guide, and that's pretty new for sure because I can claim all those things. We can claim rewards by completing content, it seems like a character growth reward, which is pretty cool. I'm playing on the EU server on a Saturday afternoon, and I'm happy to see that there are still people playing Vindictus even in this day and age with new MMOs releasing like all the time. I think Vindictus has a very dedicated player base, which isn't the biggest, but you'll always find people online no matter what it seems like. And those puppies are following me around, that's so cute. But we still can't pet any dog in the game though, so that's definitely a minus. I also remember taking a quick dip into the hot springs for buffs before jumping into missions. Wait, no, puppy, get out of here! These springs are always a great way to show off your under armor. Vindictus has this unique mechanic where your armor could break during boss battles, revealing your under armor. And of course you can purchase various tasty types of under armor. Okay, there's the clickbait. Anyway, let's sail off into the distance and check out the combat. Let's see how it holds up in this day and age. And honestly, after getting destroyed by the boss I was fighting last time I logged in, I can tell that perhaps I need to try out a few more easier bosses since I kind of forgot like everything about this game. The combat in Vindictus is pretty simple to learn, thankfully. Use the left mouse button for regular attacks and the right mouse button for smash attacks or heavy attacks. There also are certain skills you can use to either buff yourself or unleash a special attack, and players can level skills to unlock new attacks or deal more damage. The combat system actually goes pretty deep with transformations and ultimate skills, which can make the combat really fun, holding up pretty well to this day. The combat was definitely the one thing that always drew me into Vindictus, and it's still amazing. Only Black Desert comes close to it in my opinion. I do remember that we could jump though, or was it only for the EU version? Like we had the EXE version or something like that. Let me know if you're a Vindictus veteran. I'm pretty sure I could jump in the past. So the population is still fine at first glance, even though I'm pretty sure it has declined steadily over the years. And the core gameplay is still solid. The game is still receiving a lot of updates as well. I played this game at release, picked it up a few years later again when the Silence class was released, and quit a while later. And now I'm back here again in 2022. Looking at character creation, there now are even more classes available. 19 in total, and the 20th class, a Cannoneer, will be released in a few days by the time this video goes live. I tried one of the newer classes, which is a brawler, and she was pretty fun as well and had a lot of personality. Progression in Vindictus is similar to most Korean MMOs. You go through the story, unlock raids and get upgrade materials, then you try to enhance your gear, the NPC upgrades your gear, hence slip, the upgrade fails, you lose all your materials and you try again. I was talking to some Vindictus players and they did mention that the game has become more forgiving over time actually, wow. In the past, after a certain amount of upgrades, your item could be destroyed if it failed. However, for a few years now, pity systems have been introduced to either get your destroyed gear back or increase the chance of success when enhancing. Content-wise, I'm not too sure though. It looks like Vindictus is still receiving some active development, but not a lot of time is getting invested from both the publisher and developer, it seems like. I was looking at the webpage and I noticed that the last Vindictus community post was 2 years ago. That's kinda weird to flex on your front page. There are new and recent events though, which reward free items like this new clothing set that I just got. A nice St. Patrick's Day outfit. However, content-wise, it feels like the game has settled and isn't actively expanding or reworking systems to attract a newer audience. With updates, new classes or raids will be added for players to farm, but there aren't any big updates that really reinvent the game. Players just get stronger, complete the raid, wait for the next raid boss, get stronger again, and that cycle just continues, or so it seems like. Or they try out a new class and grow that to the similar point of their previous main. The max level when I quit it was around level 90 if I remember correctly, and now I'm seeing players who are level 110 running around, so there's definitely more stuff to do now. I don't think a lack of big changes and updates is necessarily a bad thing, but it does show you that there are no plans to really revitalize the game or draw a new audience audiences, Vindictus has settled, and it will probably keep going like this until it can no longer sustain itself. Which I think is a bit of a shame, because this game and combat systems still have a lot of potential. Perhaps Vindictus 2 could be a thing in the future, but for now it seems like the developers, DevCat, are mostly busy with developing Mabinogi Mobile. Mabinogi is another MMO that is developed by the same studio that did Vindictus. There actually was a sequel or next title in the Vindictus Mabinogi universe planned called Mabinogi 2 Arena, but that game was never released unfortunately. This is the only game footage of it that was released back in 2012. So, how is Vindictus doing? The game did try to improve some of its systems and mechanics over the years. There even is a 64-bit client now, that is still in beta though. The combat is still amazing and there's a small but active community still playing. The game is a classic Korean MMO with a ton of grinding needed to upgrade your gear and a bit of repetitive gameplay towards the end game, but thankfully the amazing combat does make up for that for a little bit at least. Vindictus is a game that has settled and will not try to reinvent itself to become the next big thing. Like with most Nexon titles, I think games like this are best enjoyed casually, as the core gameplay is really fun, but the late game can be frustrating due to progression blockers that can easily scare away free-to-play players. If you would ask me to rate Vindictus, I would give it a I still can't pet the dogs after 12 years out of 10. What do you think about Vindictus? Did you play it in the past? Let me know in the comments. And as always, many thanks to our members for making these videos possible. These are our special YouTube members that get shouted out at the end of every video, because they support the channel through their membership. As always, many thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar, maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, FLX, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Cody Mora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Lorenzo, BG Extremes, Anwar NHI, Frank Bouquet, Ziggy Deer, Flidiot, Beamer WT, Knifesuit, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Froggy, Gleason, Brandon Cam, Vira, Trevor, Michael Machaka, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, Heopan, ceemak, Striker Elk, Martin Panzik, Niu, Taiduan Pan, Victor Sunstrom, Radicals the Alien, Riser Aryu, Gummy Bullet, Lucky Beats, Lovebird, Rev Soli, Sir Tito 655, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Anark, Galando Belavia, I'm disappointed, my name is Coppersan, and I'm super cute XOXO, PC Game Life, Yo Mama, Dante Victory, Stanislaus Xumobegas, Level 241, Paladin Reboot, Caveman, oh yeah, Crazy Ladette, and The Passenger. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, and happy gaming!